Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We're All Psychic, and today we have Angela Jean. And Angela, would you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, hello, hello. I hear them echoing from below and above. And inside this very small places that nobody talks about in the daytime. And I have a question for you right now, Angela. Do you think we're all psychic?
Do I think we're all psychic? It's funny. I was talking to my friend today because as I have gone along my spiritual journey, I didn't really know what I was doing. But when I started studying, I realized that everything that I was innately doing is like scientifically backed. So I feel like, in a way, yes, we are. We are
Yes.
intuitively guided. I think we're guided by our higher self when we create the space for that voice to surface and guide us. So, yes.
I don't think I've asked anyone this before, and I have no idea why you might have the answer. But listeners, what is our higher self? I totally talk to my higher self. I ask her for her, guidance, and to me, she is like the ethereal version of me who knows everything, who connects to me as like the older grown up version of me. What is that? How would you explain that to someone? What is the higher self?
For
Were you
me, I believe our higher self is the version of us that has not been conditioned to forget that we are loved, that we are whole, that we are confident, that we are, I think the version that we're living right now is the smaller self that has been beat down over time through childhood, through trauma, through breakups, through whatever. And
Yes,
that's the unconditioning that we need to learn to undo. So I believe our higher self is the version of us that is pure, whole.
unconditional love. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that description. That's perfect. That is
Because
just like
they're the one guiding us, like.
yeah, that makes sense. Well, that because unconditional love is like it is an energetic feeling. I think. I don't think
Yeah.
it's emotion. It feels like an energetic and a physical and an emotional, all of it kind of.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it's the version of ourself that is also, doesn't talk down on ourselves and doesn't think that we can't do this and doesn't think that's not possible for us. That's all conditioning that happened over time. So that's
yeah,
how I look at
I just love that you have a friend that you can talk to about this. You said just now that you were talking about when you first started, where to turn, and then you studied. But did you always have friends you could talk to when this started happening? Was this something that came out of nowhere for you? I mean, did you always think that this might be a possible thing that people can do?
Are we talking about like
Like,
listening to our higher self?
or no psychic abilities or any kind of energetic work like energy healing or maybe someone mind reading or anything like that you may have heard of, or I don't know, were you around it growing up, or is this like something you found on your own?
I wasn't really around it growing up. I did have a Native American background, so we did a lot of powwows and stuff like that. But it was more found through trauma, just trying to heal my own trauma
Yes.
and get into breath work and then slowly just exploring these dark rabbit holes
Yeah,
where things started to reveal themselves. Yeah. And it came more of a guided path, like a light, like something was always whispering, come this way, come this way.
yeah,
Keep
there is down that rabbit hole, there is something, there is yeah, this is a baby
yeah.
rat.
If you dare to enter
Yeah.
it.
Need the baby bunnies, and they're so.
There's no bunnies down there.
Oh, that hole. No, the
Yeah.
dark hole that you filled up for a reason. No, I don't want to. I know though, I felt like I had to dig through those holes too, and I'm still doing it. It feels like it's something I have to keep doing to keep
Yeah.
up, like the things that I keep learning energetically or with my intuition as I grow. And you said to your friend that you have pursued it, you have looked into it and read about it and studied it. What made you want to study it?
Well, today I was actually talking to my mentor, and I'm always studying how to redirect negative thought patterns and train the momentum of the mind. And I learned today that the body codes faster than the mind debates.
Oh,
And I didn't know that. I always use the body to train the mind, but I didn't know the reason why I was doing it. Innately, just knowing to do it
what is
is
that?
because the body codes faster than the mind debates. So you can actually, reprogram your thought patterns using your body. So it was just little things like that. The surface, and I'm like, oh my God, I was already doing this, and I knew it worked, but I didn't know really why on that layer. So when I found out today, I was like, oh my God.
Much sense. Let's break it down a little bit. Like I quit vaping nicotine. It's been a week now. I was a big cigarette smoker, and in 2019 I went to Nick Salts and I vaped
Okay,
Nick Salts, and it's been over a week now that I haven't had any nicotine.
okay.
So I'm doing good with it. It was not as bad as quitting smoking cigarettes, but it's not easy. it's not as hard as I thought it would be. But like, how could I phrase that to myself to when I have a craving. Like,
Well, the craving is your body wanting to be soothed, right? From whatever you're feeling,
yes,
right?
but
That's
it
how,
feels like, what is it? I need to identify what in that moment needs to soothe. Is that kind of what you're feeling, or?
well, I don't smoke, but I do know that anyone that smokes or drinks, what I've been told is it soothes you instantly. It's an instant, it's like an instant exhale.
The habit that is like part of who you are for me anyway. It was like a part of
Sure.
the habit,
Yeah. Well, the
more
habitual pattern of doing it right. That's like how I'm with my espresso.
like
Like I like
it's
making the
like a
espresso.
ritual, it is kind of like a little ritual with a cigarette because you take
Mhm.
it out, you get your lighter, it's like, and you breathe, and you
Yeah.
cough, it's just not good, but it did feel like a ritual a lot of times, especially when I worked in jobs that were very fast paced and I could go have a cigarette break, right?
Yeah.
That would
Yeah. Yeah.
be amazing, but it's not. It was a habit.
But
Like,
if that's what you understand about the body runs on pattern recognition, not words.
yeah. So what pattern could I put into my actions then to get
Well,
the?
for me, that's all nervous system training. Like I'm all about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, nervous system training is just a signal to your body that you're safe, which is essentially what you're doing when you soothe yourself.
Yes.
That because when you take that big breath, that's the kind of breath you would take, like if you were escaping a killer or something, you know what I mean? Or if an
Oh,
animal for its life is that it's that exhale, you know what I mean? So that's why that breath is similar to the nervous system work. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's not going to work overnight. I'm just saying
well, no,
you
I'm
should
curious.
try
I'm
to.
giving an example. I'm curious too because you have my answer. Give me my answer, or give me a vape. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want it. I know you did. That's exactly what I need to put it into, like some kind of physical. What I have always done with the vape is I lose it, or I did.
Okay.
Language helps. I used to
Okay.
lose it all the time, and I look for it more than I need it. Like, haven't used it in a week, and I'm still looking for it, like it's lost. That's part of the habit too. So I think that'd be a good place to train my body right there because that's where I'm starting to look for it. And it's
Exactly.
in a habit because I'm always losing it. So if I could get somehow to get my body to know there's no vape, like there's no vape to get, you know,
Yeah.
that's probably where I
What are
can.
you feeling? Or also maybe identifying what you're feeling in the moment when you go to reach for it. I think that's more the pattern interruption. Like,
Desperate. Feel desperate. Like it's gone.
but put that more into words. You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? What do you want to feel? You feel antsy and you want to feel this. You feel like, you know what I mean? That's the
And,
hardest part to
and
think
I,
of. Like,
I feel desperate in that, like it's extremely serious, but it's kind of funny too because I
right, right,
take
right,
it so seriously that I'm, and I don't really need. I just hit it and I put it down. Part of what makes me so anxious is that it was just right there.
right,
It was just
right.
right there. And that's part of where the anxiety would come from, and the desperateness is just like, I know I saw it, I put it down, but I didn't.
Interesting.
We didn't. I did something else with it, and that's where a lot of the anxiety would come from because I know I had it and I know I put it there, but I didn't. I do have a lot of problems with my memory. I tend to forget big things and little things. I can't help it. I have a lot of issues
Is
with
that
my.
like ADHD?
I do, yeah. Major
Okay.
ADHD.
I heard that kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I do. And it also have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and that goes with that too, hand in hand, which is connective tissue disorder.
What does
And
that mean?
there are 13 types in connective tissue. I looked up how much of our body is made of this type of connective tissue. That HEDS, that's the shortened hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. 30% of the body is made of that connective tissue. So like my skin, I'm 50 and I like don't get wrinkles really. I mean, I get some,
Yeah,
but
right.
and like I can't exercise because I have bone spurs and all these weird, like, and I'm hypermobile, so I can do like the all the
Oh,
weird bendy stuff.
yeah, yeah. You're the yogi in a back bend.
Yeah, I can do all that stuff, and the that's one of the main tests for it. I do this on a lot of podcasts because
Oh, wow.
found that
Yeah.
there are a lot of people with this disorder in working in the field of metaphysics, oddly.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be a
Interesting.
rare disorder, but it's really not that rare, they think. But it is
Okay.
genetic. Um,
Oh, wow.
So for me, the memory, the ADD goes with that. Most people with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome do have ADD, and I've been tested for it like a few different ways because no doctor believes it. It's so obvious, isn't it?
That's so interesting because the woman that I was just had a roommate
Good
over
job.
the God, that's great. My roommate that I just had, she just moved out. It's interesting because she's has ADHD and she's hypermobile like that. That's interesting. I should tell
Yeah,
her if
like the EDS or something going. Does she have her joints fall out of place or anything? Because that's the main
oh,
symptom.
but I noticed that she's very oddly flexible, like you
And
just said.
yeah, yeah. Oh, there are 5 points. There are you can ask her to do the 5 things. You can look them up. I'll email you about it. She
Okay,
can.
okay, okay,
So
okay. This
it
is
doesn't mean
interesting.
she has it, but it's like a little self test you can do to see if you want to go. But it has a lot of comorbidities and stuff. And I took Reiki. I learned how to be a Reiki master practitioner and to help heal a lot of the problems, which it helps heal the mast cell activation when it comes on. I don't know if you have experience with energy healing. Have you ever looked into that for yourself? Because you've
Not
got the
Reiki.
ability. I can tell you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do meridian point massage to move energy. I work with meridian points more so to move the emotional sludge that gets stuck when we don't process our emotions properly. So I do that daily.
Yeah.
But I haven't done anything with Reiki at all.
Okay. I'm hearing from
I
my
do the
guy.
fascia. I would do the fascia work a little bit, but that's something new I'm studying. Hmm?
Oh, I was about to ask you. What'd you say? You said
Oh no,
something.
I said the only energy work I do is the meridian point massage. I haven't done any type of Reiki or anything.
Maybe you should try taking like learning Reiki, like Reiki 1 or 2.
Okay.
I would recommend Usui Reiki just because that's what I took, and that's like the first one as far as I understand.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different types of Reiki though. Like some of the people in my Reiki class went on to learn other types of master Reikis, but they didn't stick with the Usui Reiki as their main master. But I did. I stayed with it. But I feel like, and what my guide is saying, he never says anything during podcasts. So I'm just like, okay. So he's just saying you're like a natural energy healer. He like what you do, that just came to you, he says. Like you
Mm,
yourself that, right? The
mhm.
technique. You knew what it was, but you just knew it, how to do it, right? So
Yeah.
he's saying you know how to do stuff like this already from past incarnations, he's saying, and you can actually heal physical body. He says because you understand the scientific side of a lot of this stuff, physical, cellular, microbiology. He says microbiology, you know that stuff. He says you understand a lot of physical body, the physics of the world. And he would have a curiosity, he says, about what makes the very small happen. But he's saying that for you to study stuff like that because the very small is in the very large. That's for him to tell you. I don't know what that means. And he
The
says
very small and then the
um,
very large.
you would just naturally you're already moving the energy, and that's all Reiki is just moving the energy. And he's like, you'd be so good at that. And I just get the impression you'd be good at a lot of modalities that you haven't even like tried yet. You know?
Yeah, yeah. No, I try to just, simplify everything and focus it into one easy program when I am working with people because there's so many options that I just would rather get them started than send them all over the place with too many options, especially when it comes to metaphysical work, because you can't really prove it. They have to just experience it because it's an internal transformation. So yeah, I love it all, but I don't teach it all. For
So
me,
what
I do.
do you teach mainly to your students when they're coming to you?
When they come to me, I focus on nervous system training and identity training. Those are
Okay.
the two main things. Nervous system training soothes your nervous system. Identity training basically works on your belief system because the nervous system decides what you get to keep. Your identity slash self concept decides what's possible for you. So those are the two things I focus on the most.
Because do you have clients who are like empaths and have that really high anxiety that a lot of empaths have?
I don't get into any of all that because I don't talk about the past. I don't talk about problems. We're
Oh no,
literally,
empaths. Like
that are like sensitive to energy and sensitive to people. I have friends.
you
Yeah.
what?
I have
Not you.
friends.
They have. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Friends. Yeah.
I was wondering if you worked with clients in a metaphysical capacity, though, not on your end, but with them. So it's just on your end that you're doing the metaphysical stuff, kind of.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, secret. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you could be like you're opening their energy passages without them even knowing it.
Yeah. I try to
Mhm.
stay as high vibe and as clean as a vessel as possible. And then that way I can guide them simply like through a simple path, because I want to see results and I like to start small and build. Obviously, if they stay with me, we can add all that stuff later, but I don't want to start with so much. It's
I
too overwhelming for the new
take so
person.
an interest, then you might go. down a different, brighter rabbit hole, hopefully, than the ones we were talking about earlier to start,
Mhm.
right? You take them maybe down something else. But
Well, just once they kind of hit a threshold, it's like, what can we add? Then we'll add more. But in the beginning, I don't want to.
what do most people come to you with? What is the root issue that they come to you wanting help
You
with?
know, everyone's pretty simple right now. Love and money. I don't deal with a lot of, deeper belief systems. I don't really work with that, but a lot of people just,
Well,
they want to have money, they want to find love, just the basics. You know what I mean?
I feel
I
like
don't really.
you're gonna be working with some big, huge stuff. I don't know what it is though, but I do feel like you will. Um, I have a question for you though. Before I ask where they can find you and stuff, because I just feel like before the podcast, you had mentioned you had an interest in sciences and metaphysics, and we haven't talked a lot about that. But I'm kind of curious. So you do it on your end. How do you implement science and metaphysics while you're with the client on your end, in your mind, in your physical body, in your energy? Like, how does that experience flow for you?
Well, I make them programs. So the science is built into the program. I don't need to teach them the science.
And has
People don't want to be educated. They just want to be transformed, in my experience. The more I try to educate, the more I lose people, actually. I just say, this is what's going to happen. Do it. Like, people want the transformation, not the education.
they can
Like,
do.
just, yeah.
Does it work? I'm just curious. Is it working for them? Or are they
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah. No, of course, of course. It
that
can't
is
not.
so
I build science into the program. You know what I mean? So I'm working with the thought patterns. I'm learning how to redirect energy. I'm dealing with how to form new neural pathways. Like, I put that all in my program. So they just have to do
you're
it.
kind of like pushing their energy through your fields and clearing it out sometimes. Is that kind of what you're doing? Like with not your actual energy, but your field, like kind of filtering theirs is what it sounds like.
Not really, because I give them the program and they do it on their own.
They do it on their own.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do it on their own. Yep, yep, yep.
That's
Or
really,
I will create it for them. I'll customize it for them. I don't really work with them unless we do the nervous system training. That I can sit with
they're
someone.
really trying to find happiness in love and with career. Like we
Yeah, I
all,
mean, I'm
that's what
struggling and
we have
suffering.
to do. We do. That's what we look for, happiness. And that's what I look for, happiness. And my
Yeah.
cats,
Yeah.
but at the root of it is just happiness, right? With whatever we do. And people in their work are usually so miserable. Nobody wants to go to work. I love work. I
Because we're living a life of purpose. We have the luxury of have found that. You know what I mean? That's what most people are
forget.
seeking. And when you start doing the work and you start moving the emotional sludge and you start training your thought patterns, you become more confident. And then the answers that you seek, the guidance from your higher self, start to surface. You know what I mean? But if you're in a
Yeah,
low vibrating energy, you're packed with emotional sludge because your energy is just tight and constricted, your nervous system's in survival, you can't hear shit.
you're
So it's
right.
just cleaning the vessel, like literally.
And you do have a like an energy like field or energy kind of energy feeling of cleanliness. And like you had said that earlier, like keeping your energy field clean. It does feel very clean in your
Oh
area.
yeah.
I've never used that.
Allowed in my apartment. No one's allowed in my apartment. I socialize very particularly. Yeah, like I am very picky. If anyone comes in my place, I sage when they leave. Like,
And your own natural energy comes through though, and it's beautiful. It's very nice and soothing, and
yeah.
you and your own like special kind of. I can kind of smell energy. It's weird,
Oh.
especially when witches are doing magic. I can smell their magic. It's a
Yeah.
strange smell. Yeah, yeah, because it smells good. They're all different though. Everyone's different, and
I
I can't smell yours. But it's like if I were in the room with you, I might be able to. But it's if I were to put a smell on it, it'd be like sandalwood and like some beach kind of smell with it, like
I'll
sand
take
and like a
it.
that sand, salt water kind of smell coming over it. I don't know. I can smell it.
Yeah.
I make perfume too, so
Oh,
I
that's
do a lot of
nice.
stuff. I don't like to be bored. But so where can the listeners find you and find out about your services and like maybe learn from you?
Everything that I create is on a website called Soul Sync Sessions.
Okay, okay, I'll put that in the descriptions, listeners. Is there anything else you'd like them to know about you?
No, I just always say be responsible for the energy that you bring into the world because when one rises, we all rise. And we are a conscious collective. And, what you think, what you feel, what you do becomes your life experience. And that's a domino effect onto everyone else. So I just say really be responsible for the energy that you bring into the world.
That's beautiful. I was going to ask you for advice, but that's perfect. That's Perfect
That's my number
advice.
one rule. It's
Thank
my
you
number one
so
rule.
much, Angela. This has just been such a treat. And I'd love for you to come back if you ever want to and update us on what happens to you. See if Sam is right in 50 years or whenever that happens. when you're dictating the world from way above and whatever he said. I don't know. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And do you love the listeners and the watchers?
What'd you say?
Do you love our listeners and our watchers?
I love everybody, guys. Come on. Remember, we are all unconditional love. Love is what we need. Love is the biggest expander of all.
He is right about that. It is the biggest expander in many ways.
Yes.
And at that, I would love to tell you, listeners, I love you too. And I will see you probably tomorrow. I have another podcast sometime soon. And thank you again. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye.